Hey guys, so I've spent at least a little bit of time trying to clean up a little bit, at least on both projects. So we're going to do the singleton today. I want to try to get this a little set up a little bit nicer. So if you've seen my last video, you know I had a little issue with some white speckling and whatnot. So I had a little fun idea. So I'm portraying this as a summer night, essentially. So I took some of the speckling because it's high enough to where it could be at least where some starlight you could see. And then I brightened up with these little hex marks. I'm going to turn these into little firefly dots is what I'm going to do. That'll have a little thing behind them there. And that's the plan for that. But first, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do up my greenery here that I plan to use on my piece. So let me put it together here and show you guys how I want to do this. So how I'm going to try to splay this is I was going to set it up as kind of like a hedge in a way, is the way I wanted to set this up. That's kind of poking out along the cliff face, and I have enough of these here, and I was going to try to set this up to almost be like extra vine maybe growing down perhaps. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'd like to have that at least an appearance. So it'll be the same thing going here. This will be a little bit fuller because this is more of the inland road, so to speak. But I also plan something very similar. Let's see if I can get this to cooperate right now. Probably not. Not without some glue. Not without some glue and influence. Perhaps. There we go. Maybe. There we go, kind of wedge it. So that's kind of the look I'm hoping to aim to cover up as much of the over section here as possible, but also still have it removable when I'm all done with it. But also, I also have to have this matching into what this night scene will look like. I can't have it just in regular green. So that is the goal for today. Luckily, this stuff is super absorbent. So basically, I'm going to set up the airbrush here. You'll probably hear it. There we go. And I'm going to start with my purple. Start with the dark color. And then, excuse me, what I'm probably going to do is it's going to be similar to what I did with the diorama project. Again, if you guys watch that video series, you guys will see how I'm doing that as well as far as the night base. And I'm going to do the same effect here. So that is the goal and plan. So I have my pearlized white. Yep. I still have to do also the stone. I got to make that worth into it as well. So, yep. But I have a mixture for that as well that I plan to use to highlight this, but it's got to be different a little bit too. So, but yes, we're going to start with the purple. And I'm probably going to also do my cliff faces too. And yeah, I'm going to do the cliff faces accordingly and such. So yep, here we go, guys. So the more I yap about it, the longer it's going to take to do this process. So. All right. Probably shouldn't have gone into that, but it's okay. Anyway, so that's the starting point with the purples. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same method with my blues. Excuse me. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use... I'm going to do the same method as I did, again, with that diorama. So it's going to be the pearlized white with my blue color here over the top of that. So give me a little bit, guys, to clean out this airbrush so I can move on to the next color. And I got to start fresh. So we're going to set that aside. Get rid of that cup. Start fresh with my white. With my pearlized white and the blue. So here we go. All right, there we go. Okay. Actually, I think I like that a little bit better. I think I like that, how that looks better. And then basically have this fill in that gap. I'm going to clean this up real quick, and then I'm going to put it together here, and then I think I want to take a good look at how this is going to turn out. I'm liking how this is looking a little bit better, personally. However, I still have to keep in mind that I might still have to put a little shadow in it. I gotta see how it looks together. I gotta really stare at this. So, yeah, let me get this cleaned up real quick, and then I'm gonna put it together, and we'll see how this looks when it's all said and done. There we go. Okay. Again, I don't know why I just did that, but I think I messed all that set. Okay, so I think I'm actually really happy with how this is looking, at least from my perspective. I mean, obviously I still got to put a little more color on this yet. It's going to be a little bit of black over the purple around the edges and such to basically have the cutouts here of the display of this whole thing here. But also on the front of this to represent the dark shadows on the front here of where this cliff face ends. And I got to do the same thing with these guys as well. I still got to do with this as well underneath here. I might end up, I think I know I'm gonna airbrush it because I gotta have at least consistency to have it work. So hang on, let me clear up a little viewing area here. Clear up a little viewing spot for you guys here. Hang on, you're going for a ride. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay. So there it is, everyone. So yeah, I kind of like how this is going. So once I get at least the darker colors of where the harder shadow is of this lies, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. So give me a moment. Let me put you back up here. Like so. All right, this is probably going to fall apart as soon as I pull it apart. Let's see. Oh, there we go. But there we go. Okay, here we go. Hang on, you're going down again. Hopefully no one's has motion sickness. So there we go. So yeah, oh yeah, just to illustrate, this is best representation of like what a North Star is supposed to be. That's what that extra one is. But here we go. So this is them separated. So let's get a closer look at the whole thing here on around that. Yeah, I mean, to me, that kind of looks like a bush if you'd seen it from the right angle when there's moonlight. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. It's what it reminds me of most of all. Obviously, I still have to deal with this little guy right here. It does seem off a bit, but however, it's not going to get the same full treatment. It's going to get more of the black. I think it's going to get more of the black first because it's kind of hanging far enough off the edge. And then it'll be topped with the pearlescent white and blue mixture. So that's the idea. But I'm going to lay down the black, I think, first, and that'll give me a chance to get the black on this as well. So, well, I'm going to let this sit for a little while. Not too long, though. It's probably going to be like 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes for me. Basically a transition for you guys. However, though, I think before I do that transition, while I'm letting this do its magic and kind of sit and work, I think I'm going to at least take this time to add in the color needed to do my fireflies. So, yes. So, strangely enough, what I'm going to do, it's going to be... I should do some testing, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, sure, I could do it. I need to see how this looks. It probably won't be exactly the same, but at least might be able to get an idea. I was originally thinking of doing this pearlized, it's like a pearl lime color with this fluorescent green that I've been using. But I don't know. I'm really debating. I was debating on you actually because I have this nice transparent yellow as well to go over the top of that. You know what? No, I'm gonna stick to what I see in nature. At least try to mimic that as best as possible. So we're gonna go with that fluorescent. We're gonna go with that fluorescent green with this pearlized lime. So that's what we're gonna do. Yes. Luckily, this not very much, so I'm not gonna take very long. It's just setting up that takes the time. So, It's not uber pretty, but I think actually it works. It's still confined within where I want it, which is what I want anyway. So I can pull this down. There we go. Pull all that down. Pull you down. There we go. Pull it down. There we go. This also gives me an opportunity also to see how this gives me an opportunity to see how this will look if I want to put this down on, say, my diorama as well, with if I do enough of to see what it'll look like with a little bit of white and it'll be brightened up, etc. So that'll give me that opportunity as well. So all right, there we go. I'm liking that. Okay. Also, the good thing is that this stuff, even with the thinner on it, it's when you do the right consistency, and you can look up the mixture for sure. Usually it calls for, with low pressure, it's like 5 drops. I think it's 5 drops thinner. Like I said, you can look this up to confirm. You can confirm. There's a few different methods within reason. But also, if you guys do decide to get an airbrush yourselves, always double check what kind of pressures it could potentially run. That way you know exactly the kind of mixture you might need, because someone out there definitely had figured this out. And made this work. So, okay, there we go. So this is, yeah, it's pretty dry already, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. Let's go ahead and get this guy back together. The good thing is, though, while I have this apart as well, this also gives me a chance to play with how this looks too at the end. So yeah, here we go. Let's flip that around. Don't be rude. There we go. Oh, there we are. There we go. Oop. I see runniness. Not good. Pick up some of that loose. There we go. Yep. There we go. We got some of that loose stuff. There we go. All right. Okay, let's do something here. I was going to show you guys, but I think the airbrush made it a little too loose, I think. So I'm going to do what I actually had pulled off earlier when I had the white still from my airbrush. I still had that. It was still viable because I kept that safe. Just going to add little dollops, I think. Dollops in the center there. There we go. Kind of add something on the top, which is nice. All right. Now I'll bring you down. I think it's as good a place as any to bring you down and have a quick look-see. Oh, wow. I mean, to me, that looks absolutely amazing. I do love that. I like how I love how the greenery flanks the trail here. How I have that set up. Yeah, and it just comes over, and luckily the that brownish green there, that'll be pretty easy to get it to the right color. On this side here, same thing. Once I get it all black. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking how this turned out. For sure. So now it's just a matter of figuring that gap out. I think what I can do is if I nestle this higher up against this. There we go. Whoop, sorry guys. Blocked you with my big fat finger. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. That could work, actually. I have that extra. This is just an extra piece. Sorry, guys. You're just kind of along for the ride at the moment. Spread that. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. I think that'll work a lot better, I think. And I still have the pieces I think that I can use. Sorry guys, you're just hang on. And I think I still have the pieces I'm going to can use to still drape over, which is still my plan here. Oh. There we go. There we go. Hang on. There we go. Once more. Okay. There we go. So yeah. That looks pretty good from my perspective here. Taking care of a lot of the exposure. So at this point now, I think I'm just going to let this sit. Yeah, I'm going to let this sit. I'm not going to glue anything down yet until I get the black down at least. Or at least, gosh, I don't know. No, yeah, I'm going to have to glue it. I got to get everything. I'll get the foliage glued on here once this all settles and dries. And then from there, I can lay down the black. And I think this project is as far as I can take it for this series right now. Now, I will still plan to do small updates here and there. Because again, I have this project and my diorama project. But I can actually put these actually together for the very first time of completion. Or I'll call it, again, I'm going to call it 90% complete. The final 10% is the long, arduous of refinement and making sure that everything is as good as I can humanly make it. And yeah, pretty much that's the idea and thought. So anyway, I'll at least get this... yeah, I'll hopefully be able to get this done this week, guys. Or yeah, up to the 90% mark. So stay tuned, guys. So again, with everything I just laid on, it's probably gonna be like 30 minutes dry time and like the 30 minutes for me, but a transition to the next clip for you guys. So stay tuned. So guys, basically it's been a couple days because basically work was a nightmare. But I did manage to I got the terrain glued on here. I also took a little bit of my, I took the adhesive spray glue to put over top to make sure this could hold in place very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and get the black done on this. I'm going to probably do a second coat of my blue mixture on the top of this. So that's where I'm going with that. So it's going to be getting the black here. I'm going to get the black on the face down here. Also underneath where the heaviest shadows would be for this. And then basically it's going to be a little bit more painting, just hand painting, hopefully, of individual colors for this. So to kind of really try to highlight the separation as best I can. Excuse me. So anyway, I'm getting the stuff ready for the black here. So with a little bit of the reducer and moving into the black. So here we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's a good start point there. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my blue color mix. Excuse my head. Okay. All right, here we go. So just going to get this cleaned up and then move on to that blue. So stay tuned, guys. All right, moving into the white. Well, my blue-white mixture. get this cleaned up real fast. And then I think now I'm gonna go ahead and use up what I can. Use up what I can with the blue I have left over. And then proceed with basically I might use it up with use up what I need to with it for the actual diorama piece. With this, or perhaps even with my diorama as well, actually, because I do have some brightening to do and such. So, anyway, bear with me, guys, on that. It's going to be a little bit because it's going to take some time to put this cleaned up and where I need it to be. So anyway, bear with me, guys. All right. So my black is not doing the way I hoped it would. I probably had it too thin, maybe. But luckily, I have a different black that I can go with, and I'm just going to go straight on and just have this squared away to fill in as much as I possibly can, which is exactly what I need. There we go. Yeah. It's going to do a lot more than I hope. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what I want. It's that hard line like you'd see with any sunlight, moonlight. It's always a hard line that you'd see. Luckily, however, I did at least get enough on here that it did at least what I wanted there. There we go. There. Okay. That looks better. Now, let's see how this... Yeah, now under here works as well for me too. There's still some of that blue coming through, which is fine because there's always the potential of reflective light as well, which is what I'm hoping to have. It's always a chance with a reflecting light, but here I need it at least the darkest, and then it works its way up into it. So there we go. There we go. That's better. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Something at least solid, like so. And since I have this as is, I may as well put them together and see how this looks from the standpoint. There we go. All right, hold on, guys. You're coming for another ride. thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who does the views, does the subscriptions, does the likes, comments, the shares. They all matter to me, and I am greatly appreciative of everything you guys do to support what I do, and hopefully you guys enjoy the process of me building these, and maybe even get something out of it yourselves. If you do, I take that as a wonderful thing. So thank you all again. Keep an eye out for the next videos, and also there'll be small updates with this as I go along, because again, I'm doing a full update, a full setup for this and the diorama to be my Squidmar Open of 2026 projects. So this year. So that'll be again at the end of the year. I'll talk about that more probably in another video, or at least put it out there at some point. Thank you very much, and catch you guys in the next one.